These are uncertain times. Uncertain for our country, uncertain for our armed forces, and uncertain for our Army. Le Sergent-Major de l'Armée canadienne et moi, nous voulons partager nos pensées avec vous pendant cette période d'incertitude. We as an Army have taken unprecedented measures to protect ourselves and our ability to respond as the nation's force of last resort. Et il faut dire que nous sommes très fiers de la façon dont vous, l'Armée canadienne, avez réagi à cette crise. In times of uncertainty, over-communication is imperative. So during this session, we hope to address and reinforce a number of issues that have come up over the preceding several weeks.
The Army Commander and I have been in constant communication with all Army divisions, speaking with commanders and sergeant majors, and also monitoring social media to see what your concerns are. I've put together a list of things to discuss with the commander, and this list is not a script. It is just things, I have a list so that I don't forget any of these important concerns that you have. So, sir, I think we should start off with reviewing exactly what the impact of COVID-19 has had on the Army to date.
You know, we took some initial actions that were pretty drastic. We canceled a number of large-scale activities and events such as Exercise Maple Resolve, the Ceremonial Guard, the Army Ball. We then ceased all individual training. We shut down our schools. We sent our students home. We activated our business continuity plan. You know, many of you may ask what a BCP is. Well, you're now living it. It's that measure or those measures we put in place to enable the Army business to continue. And in this case, many of you are working remotely, working from home. In other cases, those deemed essential are actually in the office, maintaining their, or on the floor, on the shop floor, maintaining their physical distance. You know, an example of this is a number of our vehicle technicians who have the absolutely vital task of ensuring our vehicle fleet is up and ready to go. And so the Sergeant Major and I have to give you a big thank you for that. So across the Army, we have implemented some very stringent force protection measures, the physical distancing, the encouraging everybody to wash their hands, keep their hands off their faces. And very shortly, you're going to see some direction on the use of personal protective equipment, or PPE, as we issue detailed direction on when, where, and how to use it. Very similar to other pieces of equipment, you'll get detailed direction on that.
So the BCP is really important. It means different things to different people. So for the commander and I, part of the BCP is that we will report to work and we will sit in on video teleconferences with our other government departments. If you've been told to stay at home, that is your job, your place of duty. You need to stay there, you need to exercise, you need to remain in contact with the chain of command. These are critical things to do in these times. So, sir, I guess the next thing we should talk about is Operation Laser. First of all, what is Operation Laser, and if you could give us an update on it all.
So Operation Laser is our Armed Forces standing contingency plan to respond to a pandemic. And so that con plan has been activated, and CJOC is as the force employer is running that operation. Our responsibility as the Army is to generate forces that CJOC employs. So across the country now, we've generated numerous task forces. Most of them have assembled virtually, and what I mean by that is you're staying at home, you're remaining in contact, and you're ready to fall in onto your equipment when the call comes. Others, much fewer number, have assembled in more centralized locations to be able to respond rapidly. We are using the same regional joint task force construct that has served us so well in other domestic operations, whether it's responding to floods and fires. And most of those RJTFs are based on our division headquarters, so we are very involved there. The last thing I'd like to add is, as part of this, we have activated thousands of reserves and Canadian Rangers across the country and put you on Class C contract. So I want to pass on my thank you for you to answering the call to duty to protect our country.
So that's awesome, you know, the state of where we are right now and what we are actually doing right now. But we're an Army, and we need to plan for the future. What are we doing? What steps are we taking for the future of the Army during this pandemic?
So despite the ongoing crisis, we need to continually think ahead to the next step and the step after the next one. And so probably the most important planning effort that we are undertaking right now, along with the modernization of the Army and the regular Army business, but the most important one is restarting our training system, both our individual training, our collective training, and our theater mission-specific training. We know it's going to have to be in a COVID-infected environment, and so wrestling with all of the challenges that presents. We know we're going to have to start off slow. We know we're going to have to start off dispersed, and you're going to see much more of that, much more detail on that in the coming weeks ahead. But it's essential that we get our personnel production pipeline flowing again for the long-term health and readiness of the Army.
So this is all to tell you that we have a plan, we are enacting the plan, and things will get back to normal eventually. But for the time being, stay safe.